Talking about fictional characters. Fictional characters. Am I getting through to you at all?
You're listening to Comics Podcasting on the Edge of Civility.
So what do you think? Who should come back?
Well, I already said mine.
You already said yours. Well, here's what I got to say. Fuck off for stealing the good ones.
What?
You took the decent ones.
Dude, you can't find more than 2 DC characters that you'd want to see come back.
I found one, mostly, kinda, in an off kind of way. Shit. I got one. You know what? Fuck it. I'm proud of that one.
No, you're not.
I'm happy. Yes, I am.
You gonna buy a Nort book if it comes out?
Kids, I sit here in this cold-ass apartment that the Rev thinks is fucking civilized. And I'm telling you here in episode 98 of The Mean Geek, Comics Podcasting on the Edge of Civility.
Apparently we're past the edge.
I'll show you an edge up in this motherfucker. That I want to see Nort Esplanade Nishmacher back in the fucking DCU.
The Green Lantern dog.
Yes. Absolutely.
You'd buy that book.
Shit, yeah. As certain as you're an asshole.
Dan Jurgens presents Nort.
All right, maybe not by Dan Jurgens.
So, the reason this all came about...
Yes, we actually got some listener feedback.
From a fellow podcast.
That's right. And who was it, my dear? It was an unidentified member of the Comics Cabal podcast. And he wants to know, who do we think should come back in the new DCU? After much soul searching...
And he fired out the original one.
He fired out the original one, which was, he really wants to see Spoiler back. Or rather, Stephanie Brown. He doesn't say if he wants it to be another Batgirl, which is probably not possible at this point. Because thank you, Gail Simone.
There'll be an all-new Bat Chicks book coming out.
Ugh, yeah, it was called Gotham City Sirens, and it's not...
Yeah, but now you can have them, Batwoman, Batgirl, Spoiler, Huntress.
No. That is way too many fucking bat people.
And that's just the women.
Bad people, bad people. No, don't need them. But I want Nort back, man. He was fun. Let me tell you a little bit about fucking Nort. Nort showed up in issue 12. No, he didn't.
Let's hear it for DC Wikipedia.
No, I was looking at the cover of one where he actually looks mad for once. And I started reading the cover instead of the actual text.
All right.
He actually showed up in JLI number 10 in 88.
JLI number 10.
Yep. Keith
his
Giffen,
first appearance.
J.M. DeMatteis. That was his first appearance. Because he was not pre-Crisis.
I always assumed he showed up in Green Lantern.
No. JLI. He was some kind of foil for Guy Gardner.
Yeah, I think I have that one.
Well, I mean, what happened was his relative had some pull with the Green Lantern Corps.
Yes.
And he wanted him to fuck off his own planet because he was like the Jar Jar of the dog planet. So he had to go.
It's a rough one.
He even had a nemesis, man. The Scarlet Skier.
No, that was his friend.
No. His arch enemy, the Scarlet Skier.
Yeah, but they were friends.
That's why they were arch enemies.
He brought him into the JL Antarctic.
Yeah. And Antarctic would be enough to make me an enemy. So
Well, that was before the man-eating penguins.
All right. At man-eating penguins, we have to go off to the side. So you took the better of the two people that I wanted back.
I thought of it. I answered. I'm sorry that you felt
What?
that my answer was superior to yours.
Well, yeah. Because you thought of it first. I would have thought of one of them, but I had to go with the extra special third level backup character. because just about everybody is back, and anybody who ain't back, I'm not that concerned with.
I gave you several options.
And I didn't like any of them. Scott-free, don't care. Big, colorful, trippy-ass guy that makes my eyes hurt when I look at his costume.
I actually enjoyed the Mr. Miracle series from back in the 80s during the whole Giffen DeMatteis period.
I didn't read that many of them, so I don't know. His wife, you whipped out as well, Big Barda, who just her name is like, oh my god, it sounds like a fucking circus attraction right there. And oh look, she's dressed like one.
Fine, but I gave you other options.
Who did else you give?
Trigger Twins.
No, you and your fucking Trigger Twins. No Trigger Twins. The Trigger Twins stay gone.
Terraman.
Terraman does not say dance, partner.
But it's a space cowboy.
A dumb one.
So what was my answer? That was
your answer. You took. One wasn't good enough for you. You had to preempt me.
Hey,
take it away from me.
I gave you like 25 minutes to answer before I put mine in.
You're such a liar. The timestamp does not match that up.
Forced suddenly to deal with tweeting. Figure this shit out.
Whatever. Doesn't matter. You went with Scarface and Ted Kord.
So the question was 3 hours ago.
Yeah. Right?
And my answer, you'll have to look up because I
said
can't.
Not to worry about it. Don't worry.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Timestamp.
Whatever. Doesn't matter.
So, Ted Kord.
Yes.
And?
The Blue Beetle and Scarface.
The ventriloquist.
Arnold Wesker. Who, by the way, I've been watching that big, huge, fucking Batman box set you gave me, kind of on the sly, and got me to half pay for as well. And I finally saw a fucking Scarface episode in the 3rd season.
Really?
I'm like, man, what's taking this thing so long? And I was in such joy.
It was a good episode?
It was a good episode.
Now, how does that work? Like, when you look at Batman the Animated Series...
He actually said, what are you doing, dummy, putting words in my mouth?
That's funny. All right, that I like. But where I was going is, did you find certain villains get better episodes?
The Croc, the very few Croc-centric episodes were pretty blah. You know? The Joker episodes are usually solid enough where you can enjoy them without effort.
Scarecrow, Penguin...
Scarecrow, he's only gotten like 2, and they were all right.
Really? You'd think he'd get a lot more.
Penguin has gotten quite a few, and they're relatively solid. I like them well enough.
Okay.
Two-Face, I think, probably had the best ones. And then Ra's al Ghul is another that had the good ones.
Now, are there a lot of randoms, too? Like, do you get...
Oh, yeah, there's tons of, like, Rupert Thorne and mobsters and shit
Cavalier,
like that.
Firefly.
No Cavaliers. Not yet. I don't know. They might be in the second half of the 3rd season and the 4th.
Has Cavalier shown up yet?
Cavalier has not shown up yet.
There's another one.
I don't want Cavalier back. I don't give a crap.
Killer Moth.
No. Don't care.
Catman.
No, certainly don't care. You're pulling stuff out I don't give a shit about.
I like all these people.
You're welcome to them. I'm not taking them away from you. I'm saying I don't care. I want an intact Joker. Two-Face hasn't shown up yet. I would like Two-Face.
The Creeper?
No Creeper. Maybe. Depending on who wrote it, I could go with a issue or 2 of the Creeper. That wouldn't be bad.
Imagine, you know who would do good art?
You get Rob Liefeld to do the Creeper. Why not? He's on 16 other books.
No, I was thinking more along the lines of Mike Aldred.
Okay. I would look at a Mike Allred book. It would take away from my iZombie book, but, you know, what are you going to do? Who else you want?
DC.
Yes, DC. Not Nort Esplanade Nischmacher.
I don't want to talk about Sergeant Rock, what they did there.
Yeah, well, he was already back, so he doesn't count.
That's what I'm saying.
Take your hand away from your mouth, boy.
I'm thinking.
It doesn't mean you got to mumble.
So, It's an interesting question. There's a lot of variety. I'm strong with my two answers. Like, I wanted Ted Kord back when they did Brightest Day, for God's sake.
Yes, I would have been happy with that. Anything else?
Deadshot's back in the Suicide Squad. Captain Boomerang.
Who?
Deadshot is in the Suicide Squad.
Deadshot. Made it sound like Dead Chuck. I'm like, who the fuck is Dead Chuck?
Dead Chuck.
I don't know.
That's the new villain, dude.
Dead Chuck. That's the new villain. He's half chipmunk, half zombie.
Woodchuck.
What?
It's a reincarnated woodchuck that takes over the mobs in Gotham.
I would read that.
I'm telling you, it's like a three-way war between Two-Face, Penguin, and him, and then Black Mask comes in.
That would be great.
Dead Chuck. The new Batman book, The Dead Chuck Chronicles. So, have you seen that, speaking of DC, though, you've seen there's a whole second wave of new books coming.
Yeah.
Including your much-missed Batman book, because there's just not enough Batman out there. Batman Incorporated
fuck him.
is returning.
No, I'm not reading that book.
Grant Morrison.
No, that's pretty much why. No, I don't care what he has to say about Batman anymore. 6 years is a long enough run for anybody on Batman. He needs to leave the character alone.
That's a terrible thing to say.
No, it's not. It's a perfectly valid thing to say. It's my opinion. I don't need any of that shit.
So you will not be... you're going to let a Batman #1 go by. I thought you only did that with Batman and the Outsiders. That was the only Bat book that you refused to buy.
I've already got a Batman Incorporated #1.
So there'll also be Earth 2, the book, with James Robinson writing.
Which is tempting, but I don't know if I want to get back into the continuity horrors of alternate timelines and histories again.
So, World's Finest, which is the book you were talking about with Huntress and Maguire.
Oh.
And Power Girl. It also has Paul Levitz of Manhunter fame in the 80s writing.
Oh, boy.
And George Perez.
Doing what? Doing the art?
I believe so.
I hope.
Yep.
Because his writing is kind of stale.
Perez and Maguire will be artists on alternating story arcs. You've got a new Dial H for Hero book called Dial H.
Okay.
Written by acclaimed novelist China Mieville. I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly.
I have no idea. Well, I've read that name. I don't know if I've read anything that person has, in fact, done.
GI Combat.
Yeah, I heard about that one.
Written by J.T. Crow.
No. Stop.
But it's going to have The War That Time Forgot, The Unknown Soldier, and The Haunted Tank.
I don't know. After that Haunted Tank miniseries last year...
I don't want to talk about that.
Nah, it was pretty Let's make an example. I mean, we've got a Confederate. Why shouldn't we put a black guy in charge of the tank so they can have dramatic tension?
Let's not forget also The Ravagers, spinning off from Teen Titans and Superboy.
Oh, that's so not even remotely interesting here. What in the hell is that? Ravagers? No. You know what? I wouldn't mind a nice sci-fi book. That's what I want. What are you doing chucking my books on the floor, man?
Passing it back to you.
I can't reach that shit.
Yeah, not without bending, which I should have thought of, because, of course, that was off the equation. Sci-fi books? Have you ever read a good sci-fi comic book?
Really? You have to ask that?
No, I mean, I guess, well, you
Fucking
prefer...
Starjammers.
I mean,
Alien Legion?
Alien Legion. I loved Alien Legion, and you know, because you now own a shit ton of them, how much I loved Alien Legion. But the thing with Alien Legion is nothing happened. There were some really well done stories in that book. That was a good book. But I remember when they introduced a chick character who's so much better than everyone else, and she just blow everybody away. And they killed off two of my favorites. The art was awesome on that book, though.
Oh, yeah. Strike Force Morituri.
I guess Transmet could theoretically be considered a
Well, it is in the future, and it is some goofy. I mean, there's a lot of technologies we don't have now, et cetera, et cetera. And,
but you haven't had a really strong, hard science fiction book, I guess, is where I'm going.
And that's my point. I could use one of those. I mean, you got the weird pseudo sci-fi stuff.
Yeah, I guess
with
Alien
Iron
Legion
Man
is pretty
and
close. Obviously, you have all the Star Wars books, but you know my feelings on those.
Right. Man, Carl Potts made that shit. Remember that?
Yeah.
Can't believe that. How long ago? When was the last time you heard anything done by Carl Potts?
Well, he was, as an editor, he was around for a while, but I don't know. He was on Punisher for a long time.
Yes, he was doing Punisher for a long time, but wow. I mean, what else? I mean, recently, in this decade? Zippo. So, you know, I want some sci-fi. I want some laser guns and shit. I read Dark Matter, which... Shit, I forgot to bring it because there's only 4 books this week. It'll be in the next batch of homework. And it doesn't seem to be too bad. It's a Dark Horse book. It's a random 4-issue miniseries. It's okay, sci-fi wise. It's not super duper, oh my god, Larry Niven style. You know?
Right.
There's no giant ring worlds or nothing like that, but it could be fun. Nobody else wants to ask us anything, so we'll move on.
That's shocking.
We got books. It's all right.
So we actually have had a couple of people who have commented on Twitter, so they've entered by default.
By default. Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and send them shit. By the time you by the time you hear this, you've probably already gotten your shit. So, Raven Muse, Comic Not Geek, Thunder Duck.
Which I am fond of just by virtue of name.
Yes, that's all you need to know.
Also,
really.
he was totally behind Batmite.
Yes, absolutely. That was a great conversation. We need Batmite for life. We need a Batmite book. And we need it.
There's your character.
Tomorrow.
Where was that?
We could use Batmite back.
You
I'd
could
read
use
Batmite Adventures.
That'd be the only Grant Morrison book you were excited by.
No.
Dude, if ever anybody was
I would be
designed
totally deflated if Geeky Wee Vixen. They're all the same people all day long. I've only been talking to like 4 people. Bima.
Maximilian.
Who doesn't have a last name, apparently. Swedish girl. Very sweet. Oh yeah, Death of Comics guys. We'll have to get some addresses from them. Other than that, I can't give my sister stuff because, she's my sister. So, she doesn't count. Family and associated podcasting members do not count. So, there. 17 and a half minutes completely wasted on absolutely nothing. And that's our real goal.
That does sound like us.
Blow out time in our tattered, worthless existence where you get to stay home, but I get to go home. And I get to get beat up by 3 cats, 2 of which hate me. The other one just wants to piss in my room. So I have my comics. And one of those comics is the new Batman #6 with Snyder and Capullo. I gotta tell you, it's almost impossible to recognize Capullo anymore. I remember very specific things about Capullo's old art. And I'm not seeing him anymore.
Capullo was working on Spawn, and he was very in the mode of Todd McFarlane.
Yes.
So
he was practically aping him, frankly, on many things.
But maybe he was doing that intentionally. Maybe this is
close
to
I'm not
his
making
pure
a
style.
judgment about it. I'm merely stating as I experienced it. That's all.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, it was good shit, for the most part. So, we're almost finished with this fucking Court of Owls stuff. Turns out there's one more
for a long
issue.
time.
Huh?
I think that this is going to be around for a while.
You mean the concept of the Court of Owls, or this storyline with them in it?
Well, you just said there's one more issue.
Well, the implication being of this arc with them in it.
Yeah.
It's not going to be like a TV show where your guy only has one fucking recurring enemy. But he finally meets the owl executioner, so to speak.
The Talon.
The Talon. And they're about to wipe him out. And instead of just sticking a fucking blade in his throat and calling it even, they pull the standard supervillain, how do you want him to die routine. And instead of bullet in the head right now, instead of stake through the heart right now, they get some twisted little psycho girl child.
Well, she's part human, part owl. I mean, you're not going to look normal.
That's a mask. They're not part owl.
Dude, they're creepy. They hang out on the rooftops. They're all deboned and weird looking.
Deboned.
They're
not fillets, for fuck's sake.
She might be part owl.
But even owls have bones.
Hollow bones so they can
bird
fly.
bones, sure, but they're... You fucking loser. And of course, she has to pull the hurt him more routine.
They live in a sewer over a fake toy setting of Gotham, kidnapping rich people and driving them crazy and watching them die. Like any kind of entertainment.
Yeah, but they gotta know that this is Batman.
No, they don't. They live in a fucking sewer and they're part owl.
Well, why are they judging him if they don't know he's Batman?
Dude, they let the 5-year-old pick the death plan.
Which, proves right off the bat they're not very good in the judgment department.
They're part bird. What do you want from them?
But still, they can't be this dumb. They'll give the guy a chance.
So you're saying
and what does he do? He takes the chance and he whoops a motherfucking ass up in that shit.
Well, he is Batman.
Yeah. It's kind of my point. Guardian of Gotham.
Yeah, but none of these people know. They live in a sewer.
They know it. So foolish. It's a Gotham sewer. For God's sake. They probably got Killer Croc up in there every once in a while. They got to know.
I think he hangs out in a totally different sewer, honestly. Like, I think there's, levels of sewer in Gotham. And the higher you are, the rat catcher is one level.
Rat catcher.
And the Council of Owls is another. And Killer Croc. Because, Batman spends a lot of time in sewers.
He does. He
Which
must stink
sucks.
like a motherfucker.
Dude, there's about 45,000 of those costumes, is my theory. And that shit gets replaced on a regular basis. The dude has nothing but money. The only joy in life he has is punching a new person in the face or banging a hot chick. There's no middle ground. It's either he's either hitting someone or sleeping with someone.
Sounds like James Bond.
He gets to drive car. Well, Batman.
They both get to drive cars.
I don't know. James Bond seems to at least sit down and have a salad and play some cards once in a while.
Have a salad.
But the fact of the matter is that Batman, and even when he's sleeping with some hot girl, he's thinking, oh, well, this just proves my cover. Bang, bang, bang. So,
unless Kevin Smith writes him, in which case we understand that, suddenly Batman poos.
Not a thought I need to be thinking about.
No.
But the point I'm going with is that at the end,
yeah,
his probably the number one joy he has is brand new uniforms every day. It's oh, this smells of Penguin. New uniform, Alfred.
This smells of Penguin. But then we get this little weird moment at the end where we find out that there are apparently multiple Talons. So.
Well, dude, what kind of crappy employer is wow, you almost took out the Batman single-handedly, but you're hurt now, so fuck off.
That's the evil villain mentality, man. You
bad
didn't
plan.
serve, go away.
That's a bad plan.
You failed the mission, I must kill you now. That's how it works, man. Supervillains are like that. They're very intolerant of failure.
Yeah, you know what? Henchmen have a shitty life.
They do, man. Who would ever hench if they had a choice? You totally would not hench.
Dude, absolutely.
What? You get your ass kicked first out of everybody.
Oh, guaranteed. But the thing is, you never see the smart You're always going the guys.
There are no smart henchmen. That's
no,
why
not true.
No, because otherwise they're sidekicks.
No. See, the trick is not to have a costume and not to be a target. You want to be the henchman who's carrying the big pile of money that when the guy breaks through the fucking ceiling, you go out the door. The dumb henchmen are oh, Batman just showed up. Better just drop this and punch him in the face. Fuck no.
So you're telling me you would not only be henching, You'd be thieving.
Well, I mean, that's kind of in the job description.
Not from the boss, because the bosses are not going to like that.
Well, here's the thing. If they get away, I'm just like, oh, hey, I got away with a bag of gold. I'm a good henchman. And if they get caught, I have a bag of gold.
All right, these are all very good points.
You'd be right there with me.
When you get... No, I wouldn't. Because we would end up like Tag and fucking Bink. You can't be a sidekick of a sidekick.
You know what?
That doesn't work.
You totally can.
No. You say that because you want to be the initial sidekick and you want me to kick the kick.
Which you would.
I would
and
not.
I can prove that this is possible.
Oh, shit. Here it comes. How would you prove that it was possible?
In comics, you can be a sidekick and have a sidekick. And the way I can prove this is Daredevil. I would be Turk and you would be Grotto.
What?
You remember Grotto?
No.
No? The little bald guy that kept hanging with Turk and got tired of getting his ass kicked and stayed in prison during the last escape?
No. I don't remember that.
Well, you just read Essential Punisher.
Yeah?
And when Turk tries to break out...
Well, that was them.
Yeah. There it is. And clarity.
I read that on the toilet. I don't retain much there.
Super.
You see what I did there?
Yeah, you pooped. Rapture.
Henching for fun and profit.
I'm telling you,
We
dude,
should
I'm gonna
write that. We should totally write. No, I'm going to write an article about henching for fun and profit.
You just you don't see the smart henchmen because they don't get punched in the faces. I mean, yeah, it's a job possibility. But if you play your cards right,
enough, man.
No,
there aren't enough henchmen anymore, man. There's just a few random ones.
Well, it's a very specific job description. Like, if you work for the Joker, you have to find everything funny.
Well, that's not that difficult.
Well, because otherwise you're going to blow up. So screw it up once and you're fucked.
Well, exactly. So
Like-
there's an incentive for diligence there.
Yeah, but all I'm saying is, one off day, you work for Two-Face, you have to have a twin brother. That's a little more challenging.
Yes, that's a far more exclusive club.
All right. If you work for the Mad Hatter, you have to dress up like a funny character. Like there's specifics to everybody.
Well, I'm sure the Mad Hatter just picks up his henchmen at fucking comic conventions.
I mean, if you work for the Riddler, you either have to be an insanely hot chick or you have to wear green tights.
Again, conventions. Not difficult. Come on.
Dude, you're not getting a ton of muscle definition at conventions. There's a few, but you have to really scramble. All the good henchmen are gone early. You end up with a bunch of chubby guys going, let's break the safe of moon pies again, and that shit doesn't pay long term. I've thought this through.
I'm sure you have, baby.
Alright, so...
Speaking of people with sidekicks,
what do you got?
we got Captain America, number 8. Now, in this one, he doesn't really have much of a sidekick. He's got Falcon running around, he's got Sharon running around. And he's got Alan Davis art, which I'm growing on Cap on very much.
I always enjoy Alan Davis. I don't know that he's my favorite Cap artist. I mean, we're
Well,
only talking
no,
two
not
issues.
favorite. But
No, obviously, Mike Zeck, Garney was probably my all-time favorite.
But no, I'm definitely getting used to him, and I'm liking his dynamism. I like the panel layouts, and I absolutely love
The
Agent
Cheesecake
13. And it was nice to see Cobra again.
That's
That's someone you never see, man.
Do you remember, this is an aside, but it involves Cobra. Do you remember back in the day when Wizard, instead of just talking about the most expensive comic books, would have this random awesome, they just have a picture of a random good issue. Not necessarily. And I remember there was one about Spider-Man fighting Cobra, and I picked it up, and it was a fun issue. I missed that. Like, the recommendations, this is something out there. You should find it. It's worth reading.
Oh, yeah, I remember those.
Yeah. You don't see that anymore. Now it's,
Nah.
this is the big, or this is expensive. Get this before it's gone.
Wonk, wonk, wonk.
Not, here's a random issue of Amazing Spider-Man where he fights Cobra. Snake versus Cobra versus Spider.
Funky.
I'm telling you.
So we're progressing forward in this psychosomatic thing Cap's got, where he thinks he doesn't deserve his idolization anymore, and he's losing his abilities through the super soldier serum at random intervals.
Don't you kind of wish this was a slower build?
A little bit. Teeny bit. Not a lot. I want more stories, not necessarily more issues, if you follow me.
Right.
Right. So, crap, I totally lost Queen Hydra. Queen Hydra. What's the critical difference between Queen Hydra and Madam Hydra?
I can't tell a goddamn thing between any of them, because Queen Hydra is torment. Well, Queen Hydra just came out of the dreamscape for the last 50 years. It's funny, because here you have Queen Hydra plotting against him, and in Avengers you got Madam Hydra torturing him. Cap is just not popular in the Hydra circles.
No, he never has been. Come on, man. Ever since he's been fucking with Zemo. You can't fuck with Zemo and expect to get away with it for long. You know?
Where is Zemo in all this?
Zemo...
Is he a sidekick? Is he a partner? It's confusing.
Zemo is kind of a partner. I don't think he's quite gotten up to, top echelon status, but whatever. Now, they go to interrogate Cobra, which I found interesting because Sharon got really, really mad.
Well, Sharon is always really, really mad.
Yeah, she's not a happy individual, man.
Well,
I think Miss Marvel is happier than her, for fuck's sake.
Power Girl.
No. Power Girl's been fine since she gave up the Diet Cola.
That's an insane sentence.
It's true, though. Remember? You want me to look it up?
Nope, I do recall it.
They found out that she was so irritated by the, aspartame or whatever the fuck was in it. And of all people, why was she drinking diet anything? It doesn't make sense. But that's Giffen and DeMatteis for you, so fuck it. It was fun either way, man. Just the worst thing on the universe was her costume. Oh my god, that Arion Lord of Atlantis headband thing she had going on. It was terrible. What are you talking about?
Well, I've heard that the new one is awful as well.
Well, no, it's not awful. It's just nobody's used to it because there's no cleavage. So everybody's like, oh.
Well, I've heard...
I want the boob window back. Why, you pervert? Well, okay, forget it. But I like it. Because you like boobs, pervert. Yeah, okay.
Really? You like boobs and pervert go hand in hand?
Yeah, whatever. So, in a last desperate measure to get some kind of assistance and backup and a plan to rescue Steve or put him back together the way he's supposed to be, to get the inside scoop on what happened to poor Steve, she reactivates Machine Smith.
That's just a bad plan.
It's a terrible idea.
I love that Machine Smith is back.
Well, yeah. It says right on the fucking cartridge, like an N64 out of fucking 1998.
Well, that's what they locked him in.
Do not activate. Why are you keeping him anyway if you're not going to activate? Why keep these guys around? He's a batch of electrons. You don't need to... There's no moralness about killing him. Because you're just dispersing him. You're not even killing him. Why keep the Machine Smith around?
You have to.
You don't
the same reason
have to.
If the Vision can get married... Machine Smith has to be protected.
What?
It's a comic rule.
What are you talking about, comic rule?
Dude, if one robot sentient life form has a personality, besides, we're talking about Cap here, he certainly can't do it. He hangs with the Human Torch. If he's going to go out destroying robot personalities...
Whatever. It's just a bad idea to have him around.
No, they should be locking that shit up. I think it's kind of cool they've been keeping him locked up in a final fight game.
No, it did amuse me that it was, like I said, the N64 cartridge.
But you are skipping a key factor in this book, too, that the recently released
Factor or
Dream
plot
Warrior is now broken out by Zemo.
Right.
So there's a whole lot of villains coming Cap's way in the near future.
Well, he needs big event things. He's not... Although he has been personal, right? His motif is a whole large-scale thing. So he needs, something big. You got to give him something to fight with. And speaking of which, we move over to Avengers 22, where the aforementioned Madam Hydra torturing is happening. She was starting to creep me out a little bit on those couple of pages.
Well, she is Madam Hydra.
She is weird, and she's a little bit pervy. But then she just starts beating the piss out of him.
Dude, do you know how many times Cap has punched a person from Hydra in the face? Like, if any of them get him... like, I would literally be kicking him in the ribs every 32 seconds.
Well, I was trying to figure out whether she meant any of that touchy-feely seductress stuff, or if it was all just the setup to shock him with the punch.
Probably both. Like, she'd probably love to sleep with Captain America as the ultimate corruption, and she'd shock him anyway instead of doing it, because she's fucking insane. This woman is a Looney Tune. Alright? Look at any conversation she has with Spider-Woman. She is a Looney Magoonie.
Looney Magoonie. You weirdo. So they also have Iron Man captured. And he has a little fangirl with him who is desperate to get across the fact that she absolutely adores his intellect and capabilities.
And he's now going to torture him.
And he's just like, do your worst, babe. What are you going to do to me? I've thrown down the fucking Mandarin and Fing Fang Foom and fucking alcohol. What are you going to do to me, little doctor girl?
Dude, did this just remind you that Tony Stark cannot talk smack, though? Get a map.
He really can't.
What do you mean, get a map? Because I'm telling you to go to hell.
Yeah, that was
waka waka.
That was pretty poor, man.
And dude, even with the other scientist chick being like, you walked into that. Terrible. That's just terrible.
Oh. And then Madam Hydra goes right back to fucking Spider-Woman. Tries to get her to join back up again.
Avengers are screwed up.
And I was kind of creeped out by the pose they got her locked up in. Because that is just screaming cheesecake. That's not even like, you're in a cell and we're going to make you uncomfortable. And I'm sure that pose is incredibly uncomfortable. But I don't think that's the kind of uncomfortable that Hydra is really going after with their prisoners.
All right. So, I'm going to dissuade you this way. Let me assume for a moment that you and I end up being henchmen. Or let's say we work for Hydra.
All right.
And you're guarding the cells one day.
Yeah.
And Spider-Woman in that costume is put in a cell. What position are you going to hold her in?
You know, and that's the problem with henchmen. They are often slaves to their baser instincts. And the hero always takes advantage of that and fucks their world up.
Well, yeah.
So, no. If I had the same personality, but I was just, my job was henchman, no. I would realize that it was a poor idea to put her in a position where I would be too busy staring at her to realize she was picking the lock, getting ready to kick my ass.
Nah, totally not going to happen.
Okay, so you admit that you would be dumb enough?
No, I wouldn't, but you totally would.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
I'd be dumb in a different way. Oh, they'd be like, oh, look, six-pack. Well, ain't nobody around. I've been guarding for a whole 22 minutes.
All right, we all have our weaknesses.
That's my point. Plus, you also have to understand, the henchman life is different. Particularly in Hydra. All right? At any given point, Baron Strucker is going to be stabbing you in the ass with the sword going, oh, I'm sorry, I just wanted to show somebody else how loyal you were. I'm sorry, what? You literally would have been in these cells for who knows how long, guarding other Hydra members who got fucked up. Spider-Woman, this is like Christmas. Best day ever.
All right.
It's she's probably going to punch me in the face, but this is the only thing that's not going to suck in my entire work year.
All right. So, now, I think I missed it here. I got to reread this maybe. Who is this nut walking down the tunnels with his buddy? These hench guys with the no faces. Because the tunnel just kind of... Oh, that's right.
They're inside the Red Hulk.
Right. They are running around inside the Red Hulk, Fantastic Voyage style, and his antibodies come and get them, and they're surprised at the strength of the fucking Hulk's... Really?
Hey, I thought they had a clever plan.
How are you surprised that the Hulk has antibodies that will kick your ass?
I thought it was a clever attempt. If you were going to try and figure something out from the Hulk, you can't cut into him.
Well, yeah.
You're not going to psychoanalyze him.
Yeah.
It's let's knock his giant red ass out, dive inside, and get something from the inside. Theoretically, it was a clever plan.
It's the best of the three ideas.
Particularly if, again, you don't mind sending somebody in there, and if they don't come out...
But Quake was nice. I didn't mind seeing Quake again.
Well, Quake is currently an Avenger.
Yeah. But she's running around in her S.H.I.E.L.D. outfit. No, he didn't.
See, you're totally that guy.
Yeah, you're right. Whatever. So she gets the information out of the guy by first smacking him around and then telling him, by the way, I can create a miniature earthquake in your chest cavity and fuck your world up, but good.
I would hand over information at that point.
I'd be like, you know what? He's downstairs, third door on the fucking left. At the keypad, put in 111215. You're in. He's all yours. Let me go away. I don't have a problem with that, man. And, you know, as she walked away, and I would be backing away.
Shocking.
Hoping I had my camera with me. Anyway, so the Vision comes down at a protest where he finds Norman Osborn, who is suddenly incredibly fucking strong. And
That's been going on for a while.
Yeah, but he didn't realize that.
Well, you know, he's a robot. Nobody programmed.
Well, no, he has all the Avengers files, so anything any Avengers knew, he was supposed to know too.
How often do you think he updates that shit? I think it's like a daily occurrence. Like, oh, let me see what everyone else has done.
You know, he's advanced enough where he probably does have a live uplink to the Avengers, whatever the fuck. Because I won't say mainframe because nobody uses a mainframe anymore. Only people who don't understand computers ever say the word mainframe.
I say that all the time.
Because you're wrong.
Dude, you know damn well I've never used the word mainframe. Not because I understand computers. Actually, I think there's a G.I. Joe guy named Mainframe.
There is, in fact, and I have him. And I still got the fucking Dr. Mindbender, which is one of the creepiest fucking things on the planet. Running around, half in fatigues, no shirt, bald, monocle, mustache. He looks like a fucking village person.
If the village people went evil,
they would totally be Cobra fucking minions. You know who else he looks like? He looks like fucking Iron Sheik, for fuck's sake. He totally does.
Have you ever looked at the Iron Sheik's Twitter?
No. I think I've seen a couple of retweets, and I'm like, your bad English is too forced to be funny to me. So, in the middle of the protest in New Avengers 21.
So we've switched Avengers at this point.
Yeah, well, that was the last page.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Jessica Jones has had about enough of this horse shit and decides to walk right through a hostile group of people with only Squirrel Girl to protect her.
And her child.
Yeah, and her child. She could have taken a Quinjet out. There must have been a car somewhere in there. But she decides to walk out with the kid and Squirrel Girl, who we know can kick a little bit, but it's an entire crowd,
dude,
and she's by herself. So
bringing a baby to a riot.
That's a bad fucking idea.
Yeah.
I don't care
Reasons
how scared
I was not
you
a successful superhero in the past.
And they try to reason with him, and then she gets smacked in the head with a bottle or whatever. And I'm like, whoa, you need to leave. And who throws a bottle? I don't care how mad you are, man.
Who throws a shoe?
Right. Honestly. Who throws a bottle at a woman carrying a baby? I don't care.
I actually had a real problem with that. Not, obviously, I don't like anyone throwing anything at babies, but it didn't seem like the people are protesting.
It seems a bit forced.
I couldn't really believe, like, oh, hey, here's a superhero. I don't like superheroes. She's got a baby. I'm going to throw my bottle. Plus, who has a glass bottle?
Yeah.
So you anyway, find that shit. It's like all those people that said they have cabbage when famous people are getting attacked.
Yeah, who carries around fresh produce on the off chance that you're going to stumble on a bad movie star? You do not. Don't lie.
You wouldn't be shocked if I said they were like, hey, look at that person, let's throw cabbage.
Wait, you don't like cabbage?
Yeah, all the more reason to throw it.
Well, I mean, it does get it out of your hands. But still, come on. You would have to purchase the cabbage. Because I can't see you gardening just on the off chance that you're going to have the opportunity to throw a rotten fucking leafy vegetable at a random star you don't like.
Dude, come on, where I live there are no stars.
No, I've seen Chris Elliott at Marty's. I've seen fucking Jack Nicholson at Marty's. Yeah, absolutely. I've seen a couple of. I mean, there's the biggest marina in New England. There, they're going to have their fucking boat.
Did you
there.
throw cabbage in him?
No.
Damn it!
What?
You
know what Jack Nicholson had for lunch?
Cabbage?
No. He had a bacon chili dog.
You know what? Like, because my guess was so unlikely.
Cabbage?
I didn't say,
That's far more unlikely. Besides, we didn't serve it as cabbage. I mean, he had a side of slaw, but that's not the same.
Fair enough.
Meryl Streep came by Marty's once.
Good Lord.
Yeah. They all got boats in Westbrook. And, Art Carney was over in Old Saybrook. What's her face? The crazy old woman.
Katharine Hepburn.
Katharine Hepburn lived in Old Saybrook. There's movie stars around here.
They're all dead.
Well, now.
Most of the people you've named are not breathing.
Now.
Chris Elliott is. Jack Nicholson.
Ooh, Sirens. Never good.
Rutrow.
Anyway. So, you know what? The next thing that happened in this book, now that we need to get back on track here, they cut from one riot to this horrifying fight with the, was it a robot or is that the clone?
I believe that's a clone.
The Ragnarok clone of Thor, who he goes to town and he fucks the worlds of Wolverine, Spider-Man, Danny Rand, and who else?
Luke Cage several times.
And Luke Cage, he he just annihilates them, throws them through like entire buildings. There's no stopping this guy. And this, what about this page right here with Danny Rand flinging that iron fucking fist in there?
You know what I liked about this is Spider-Man, not only was Spider-Man basically saving everybody every 4 seconds, but he comes up with a plan, web slings Danny Rand into...
But it was kind of a disgusting joke.
Fisting?
Yes. That was terrible. Danny, fist him! I hate when people say that.
Well, wouldn't you?
I would fucking punch him right in the neck for that.
Well,
that's disgusting, man. How do you not know what you're saying when you tell somebody something like that?
I suspect that he does.
Yeah. Oh yeah, go ahead, dude. Piss off the world's greatest martial artist. That's a great fucking idea. Fucking Peter Parker thinks he's so fucking cool. Jesus.
What?
He gets to tell
Moving on.
He gets to tell his little jokes, and he doesn't have to worry about consequences.
Isn't Danny Rand a millionaire?
Yeah. So
Yeah, so I'm thinking the guy's suffering too much about what the broke dude in the spider costume is saying
he's
from the
not
side of
broke
a wall.
anymore, but that's beside the point, isn't it? Old Peter thinks he can get away with any goddamn thing.
Well, he is wearing a mask.
So? Danny knows who he is. Of course he knows who he is.
Okay.
Everybody on the team knows who he is. Oh, they know.
Moving on.
So they're having a little tete-a-tete with the new Dark Avengers, and they're deciding whether they want to really kill the remainders of the fight after Ragnarok. And Norman's plan is, look, if we just let them skulk away all beaten to hell, we've saved the day already. They came and tried to fuck with us. We get the good PR. But, hello, Barton, if you kill them, we turn into bad guys again. It's like, but we are bad guys. I don't want the perception of being bad guys. I want to be heroes again. And that does make a certain amount of sense. I don't understand why these idiots couldn't grasp it.
Well, they're idiots. I mean, they're supervillains. These are not people who are used to controlling their tempers.
Well, there's that, yeah. All right.
I mean, you really think that Barton is going to be in the brain trust anytime soon?
I can't get behind a character named Bart Barton. I can't. I'm having a very difficult time with it.
Alliteration is a comic book tradition.
And I've never really dug it. And don't really care for it.
So you can't get behind Lois Lane, Lex Luthor,
I
Lori
can get behind
Lamaris.
Lois Lane. Aha!
See? Again, this is just proving that my Spider-Woman theory already in progress.
Speaking of spider people, Uatu Jackson has his day in the sun with Spider-Man.
This was not my favorite Spider-Man issue.
No, it was painful here and there. I mean, it was nice that Peter got everybody bagels. That amused me, but the art was killing me for one.
I wasn't a huge fan of the art. I also cannot, under any circumstances, stand Morbius, the living vampire.
Oh no! See, I got no time for him. And what was he going to be doing for Mega Corporation or whatever the fuck this is, the think tank?
Well, basically, he's trying to come up with a blood substitute.
That's right. So, he wouldn't have to fucking starve and kill people.
So not only will this have huge medical advances, I'll be able to stop eating people.
Well, a noble goal to be sure. But it was that was kind of lame, and it was kind of nice to see a little consequence there, because I'm stuck on consequence tonight, where the big boss said, look, pal, you circumvented my security. I don't know who the fuck you think you are, but if you want to come in here and visit my employees again, you're going to use the front fucking door.
So Peter's now going to be in trouble, and it's going to be that much harder.
Yes, because they're going to beef up the security specifically designed to beat Spider-Man. So, Parker Luck coming your way.
But Uatu Jackson's specialty is monster hunting?
Yeah, that's kind of... I don't know what Yost is doing to old Dan there, but he needs to back the fuck off and go find his own book again.
What do you mean?
Well, he co-plotted it with Slott.
Well, I mean, it's a one-off. Nobody gets a 100% rating, as I've said before. I did not love this one, but I'm still totally behind the Dan Slott Spider-Man storylines.
Well, the rest of them, sure.
And the fact
probably
that
subsequent ones as well.
Morbius is now hiding out in the sewers. More sewers. It's a very sewer-centric episode.
They're always sewers. And sewers are very useful, because first off, they're mazes. Second, they're dark. Third, they're filled with vermin and shit. So, 2 out of 4 reasons most people would never dare to venture in and bother your ass.
But who does Morbius go visit while he's down in the sewer?
Killer Croc.
Close. Sadly.
The lizard.
Yay!
So we got some lizard stories coming up.
Perhaps.
I think I like that much.
You tool bag.
Why I gotta be a tool bag up in this motherfucker?
Because you use Killer Croc.
He was in a sewer. There was a connection.
On delay.
You watch.
Yeah, I'm watching.
Oh, Invincible Iron Man 513. Where previously, Tony got tanked. He got caught being tanked. And he's now in danger of having, probably not his corporation, but certainly his suits taken away. Because, quote, we license pilots, and if they drive drunk, they fly drunk, they lose their job. A cop is drunk on the job, he loses his job. How about the most powerful personal weapon on the planet? Why isn't he getting any consequences? And this is a good thing to explore, really.
It is an interesting question.
And they did a very similar thing. Well, not very similar. There's small parallels in Battlestar Galactica. You know, they had a trial for some small-time villain. Or, no. I'm so totally wrong.
Yeah,
it was
confused.
Baltar. What? You don't remember anything about the original that you can't even remember the names?
I saw like 2 episodes, dude.
Oh, for God's sake. You need to buckle down and watch fucking Battlestar. Okay? Shit.
I'm so sorry that I've not seen a television show.
Oh, for God's sake, you sit there all night long looking for shitty movies to make me suffer through. You could watch some decent television while you were at it.
Yeah, but that would cut into my looking for shitty movies for you to
No,
suffer.
it wouldn't. For fuck's sake.
Well, I was gonna, but then you lost all 4 seasons.
The betrayer, Gaius Baltar,
Right.
Finally goes on trial for his crimes that he allowed to occur while he was president of the colonies.
Okay.
Mainly the Cylon occupation. He fucking, what it was like the Vichy, for God's sake.
Okay.
So they put him on trial, and then they let Leodama, the commander's son,
Right.
defend him. And he makes a very good point that the rest of them, high up in the colonial government, have done some really horrifying fucking things. And when it was all over, they're all like, well, we're all human and we need all the humans we can get. But suddenly, guys, Baltar is in trouble and on trial, and everybody wants his blood, and they don't care how they get it. So, I see a tiny parallel there.
This didn't go as smooth as you were hoping for.
The smaller or the bigger, it's a matter of
degree
perception on sides. It's a symmetry, right?
Right.
They get to do whatever the fuck they want because either they'll get canned or they'll get forgiven. So Tony Stark is high up there. So he's getting a pass for a while, but people are noticing that he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing, and he's going to become a danger as a result.
Well,
it's small parallels, not like, oh my god, that's exactly it.
Yeah, didn't flow entirely the way you were hoping for.
Yeah, well, it never fucking does.
So Tony Stark's life is beginning to suck again.
Yes.
So we've got a all Chinese Avengers team here,
who are actually seemingly reasonable heroes and reasonable people because
till they blow up their own dam.
Well, I mean, they're Chinese.
What?
The Chinese government has never really had a high regard for human life.
Fair enough.
So, in that sense, all I'm saying is that they're playing to type.
It's a political book. So Tony is yet again involved in another massacre that he can't stop. His best friend shows up to help him and then basically quasi-arrests him.
Yeah.
And this isn't the highlight of the book. The highlight of the book for me is the moment where Stain says something sarcastic to the Mandarin, and the Mandarin makes him poop himself.
That did amuse me, man.
It's like, I'm sorry, that's a tone I'm not familiar with, because I'm the Mandarin.
It's like, wait, you thought we were equals or something? Because that's not
I put a bomb in you. We're not friends. Watch your tone, dumbass.
Oh.
And then, finally, at the end, we get the big reveal.
The big reveal was
the fact that everybody that hates Stark is in this team.
Has been completely revamped by the Mandarin and Stain.
How many were you expecting to see? Like
I was not
6?
expecting to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of them.
Now,
plus Stain, plus the Mandarin, a baker's dozen of evil.
How many of these people are you familiar with? Because there are a few I didn't know, but you're a bigger Iron Man fan.
Whirlwind, Living Laser, Melter,
know all
Crimson
these.
Dynamo, Blizzard, Titanium Man,
Yep.
Chemistro, Vibro. I don't know Firebrand or Firepower or Mauler. So
Mauler I know. Firepower I know. Firebrand I have no clue.
yeah, but she looks like the hot one.
Oh, for God's sake.
Because she's Firebrand, right? Yeah, baby.
So does that make Firepower the hot guy for you?
Not
By
really.
That, yeah.
It would follow. You're the one talking about names being important up in this motherfucker. So, poor Detroit Steel. He's running around with a fucking handwritten sticky note saying Detroit Steel on a football helmet.
What kind of serious emotional problems do you have where you're like, I need a costume. I need a sticker. My name must be out there.
Oh my God, it's Ron Jeremy.
I don't think it is, but it looks considerably like him.
Yeah. This is Dylan Dog, by the way, kids. Which I have no idea what's going on because there's no subtitles in this thing. But
it doesn't seem to be terrible.
But it's not jumping out. I haven't seen a whole hell of a lot of action in it. And it is Brandon Ruth, so who knows?
Yeah,
It's
probably.
difficult to say.
So probably terrible, but
it's a good bet.
All right.
So we got all this set up. We have consequences coming. We have bigger consequences coming. Government sanctions. Renegade wannabe heroes. Wow.
So to answer Mauler, I can answer. By the way, I believe if you think back to Armor Wars 1, It was the mercenary who just handed the armor over because it wasn't worth fighting.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. It might be time to reread Armor Wars, my friend.
It might be. Oh. Detective number 6. If I remember this one properly, I actually got a hint of hopefulness out of this issue.
Really? With Snakeskin, the guy who can change his features at any time due to a faulty drug testing? Or the reporters...
Sounds like Matt Hagen to me. Clayface.
Right. Except there are like 5 of those already.
Yeah. The Mud Pack. Oh, we don't know that. New universe might not exist.
There you go. You can ask for Clayface.
This might be the new Clayface.
Except he's Snakeskin.
So what? Because Clayface was such an imposing moniker.
But let's not forget, he's also hanging out with the one-eyed chick who's the sister of the reporter that Batman is stooping.
I don't have a problem with that because they're both running around in French maid outfits.
You have serious emotional issues. French maid costume equal good. Fire bad.
Fucking loser. To paraphrase the Dance with Dragons, it is known. Do you want to read that? Because I got to give it back to my sister soon.
I'll pick one up eventually. I'm not worried about it.
All right. But no, I mean...
So what gave you hope? Let's go into the positives.
Well, they actually had some development of plot here. Things were happening. There was a shakedown. There was a stabbing. Batman gets... Batman throws down a little bit. We see the behind the scenes of Penguin's little machinations there.
With all those weird little villains like Hypnotic and Mr. Kinetic Energy or whatever. Gas Bag.
That's nothing unusual.
It just seemed odd that there was this weird little communal of bizarre villains. No, I liked some of the Penguin stuff. The dialogue in this book is so appallingly awful.
Well, I don't know about appallingly awful. It's not good.
All right, go to the thing where sometimes you don't have to hit somebody too hard. You have to make them feel their insides move.
All right, that was terrible.
Yeah.
All right, see, this is where my if it doesn't affect me, I forget it routine works really, really well. But no, there was a glimmer.
Okay.
There was a glimmer. So maybe I've ordered up to 8. So
well, you know,
we'll see.
It is hard for you to even consider dropping Detective.
It's so difficult, dude. There has not been a time in my entire 26-year comic collecting history that I have not bought Detective. It's so difficult to even think that a Detective Comics is not worth getting anymore. I hate the thought.
Well, that's understandable.
It is anathema to me.
Nice use of a big word.
Yes. You like big words.
What?
Mr. Summa Cum Laude that you didn't even realize was happening until you
Not Summa, just Cum Laude.
Just whatever.
And I found out...
Eventually.
Yeah, 2 years later when I read my diploma drunk, I'm like, oh shit. These things happen.
Wonder Woman number 6.
So
a nice little bit of turnaround.
There's some really neat things and some really weird things going on in this book.
Yeah, well, the fact that Poseidon is now a giant carp mixed with a giant squid who yells a lot.
When you throw in that Hades is an 8-year-old child with 5 burning candles running down his face.
That's just weird.
Yeah, I'm just saying the giant carp squid thing is not...
It's a simultaneously bizarro and awesome visual with the candles. I don't understand their purpose, you know, because you can't say Hades, of course, is blinded by the light of justice that constantly hangs above him in the overworld. Wow. No, that's pushing it a little bit, but... But the great thing is they trick the hell out of all parties involved, and they all walk away like, Well played. Fuck it.
Well, Wonder Woman is basically developing the idea that they can share Zeus's role, one being married to Hera during the day,
Right.
and the other at night, which they both are fine with at least some power. Hera hates this plan,
Hera
however.
is going batshit against that.
But Hera's batshit about everything else.
She is. She's never satisfied by anything. And why does she run around with just a peacock feather cape on?
I don't know.
That's
I'm still
weird.
trying to figure out this Lennox character.
Lennox is another demigod.
Yeah, but it doesn't make a ton of sense.
Well, neither does Wonder Woman when you boil it down.
I suppose. But then, of course, her little pregnant ward gets kidnapped by Hades, who now wants her to put this plan into effect, which she was just doing. Like, I don't understand the plan. Like, she gave both these guys an idea, and then Hera shows up and it's like, no. So she now is fucking with Hera, but wouldn't these guys still be mad? Like, she lucks out that Hades just goes off in a huff, and
That was a bit of a stroke of luck there.
if that hadn't happened, where is this plan going to go?
That is a consequence that is not going to be explained ever.
I don't. So it seems like a poor plan, even though it worked out. And Azrael is usually so tight and everything that this is confusing me a little bit.
Yeah, a teeny bit. I see exactly where you're coming from with that. But it was enjoyable. I like the dialogue.
I do miss the other artists, though.
Cliff Chang? Yeah, I wonder where. But Troy Aikens, Tony Aikens, it's not bad.
No, it wasn't
I
terrible.
like Cliff better.
That's all I'm saying.
You know, I mean, I'm not going to say he can't draw, but it's just a matter of appeal, not necessarily competence, which is whatever. Winter Soldier #2. Wowee.
Lot going
Snow
on.
battles, a lot of snow. There's like snow on every page for like 7 pages, man. It's a plot from the Zephyr. Somebody bought the Zephyr group, the cryogenically frozen assassins trained by Bucky during the Cold War, and they've bought them and hired them to go kill Dr. Doom.
But not necessarily to kill him, just to irritate him politically. They fired an RPG at him, which even in the comic, they're like, that wouldn't kill Doom. That's a stupid plan. It's like attacking him with a walnut. Like, really?
You do about the same amount of damage, really. There's a lot of talking.
There's a lot of plot going on in this book. I'm really intrigued by this book. It had an awesome machine gun ape with a rocket pack moment.
With a rocket pack? Really? Did I just see an ape with a rocket pack?
I was in love, dude. Like, I'm like, I will buy this original art. I will put it up on my wall. When monkeys have guns and rocket packs, all is right in the world.
Sounds like a title.
But
Nick Fury shows up and kicks a little ass.
no, there's the Winter Soldier is such an interesting concept to come over from being, an iffy cap to in his own book. But this is really plot heavy right now, and they need to tone that down a little bit.
I don't mind it.
The amount of dialogue and talking, like they could have drawn this out a little bit slower. It's such a big concept to be already happening in the second issue. I'm not anti-big concept by any stretch of the imagination. I would like, however, it to develop. Like, do you fully understand everything that's happening with one quick read of this book?
No, of course not. But it's got Doombots. I don't need a whole hell of a lot more in my comic besides Doombots, man.
Oh yeah, have you picked a bumper sticker out from the options I sent you?
No, not yet. I haven't had time between everything. Got some. No, I'm going to do all of them. I just got to figure out how to design them. Bumper stickers. My other car is a Doombot. Silver Surfer does it in space because no one can hear you scream. My parents met a god in Broxton, Oklahoma, and all I got was this lousy bumper sticker. These are all now officially trademarked and copyrighted by the Mean Geek 2012. Don't let me see you making a T-shirt out of them.
Dude, please make one. At least you'll have watched.
I will make it. I will make the goddamn thing.
You just want to hand one of those to Broxton once to Fraction and see the look on his face.
Yeah. Goddamn right. I handed him a U.S. out of Latveria last year, and he's like, "Can I have one for Tom Brevoort too?"
Please tell me he didn't sound like that.
No.
All right.
But he did sound... He is like the world's biggest hipster-looking motherfucker. He looks like Buddy Holly 2009 style. He's got his skinny jeans and his thick glasses.
Very nice.
And now, the ultimate issue. And you know what? I think we're going to give these away. Justice League International number 6. Where everyone's irritated and August General and Iron gets it on with Godiva.
That gets to hang out. Like, it's... These are the kind of issues that in a great book you really enjoy. Those little soft moments. Like, one of the things people used to love about Claremont's X-Men was the baseball games and the character development moments.
Right.
Harry's Hideaway Bar. If I think I have that name right.
Yeah.
But in this book, and it was also a great moment in the Giffen DeMatteis Justice Leagues.
Yeah,
Like
there used to be plenty of them. It was fun.
And honestly, there was more of that than there was of them fighting major villains in those books.
There's a lot of bombs, and there seems to be no point to the bombs. And there's a lot of talking and yelling at the UN.
And there seems
the
to be no
UN
point to
saying,
the talking.
We don't even care about you because you suck so bad. And Booster going, we fucking won. We're all alive. What's the problem?
You ran away and made us look bad by heroes shouldn't run. You should
Yeah.
fight giant robots that no other hero showed up. It's just an awful book.
It was terrible, man.
Like, if anybody's out there going, I can't wait to read this for the next 10 years, you're lying to yourself. Big time.
I like Booster. I like
You
Guy
do.
Gardner. I like Tora and fucking B. And I don't even mind this new Rocket Red, even though you seem to hate him.
It's a poor clone of a
Well,
better
I said
character.
Not mind. I didn't say I.
Well, you seem to hate him. I have reasons.
You do hate him.
Yes. And
There's no reason to hate him. He's just not as cool as he could be.
Dude, there's every reason to hate him. His defining personal characteristic is a soul patch. That's it. Like, that's the only new thing he's brought to Rocket Reds is I wore a soul patch this time.
That's the whole thing you're focusing on?
No,
is a
I'm
tuft of hair?
I'm focusing on the fact that you took a character that I really liked, replaced him with this dumbass who's
Well,
going...
he was dead. What are you going to... Oh, wait. He's not dead because this never fucking happened. This is a new you.
Yeah.
By the way, just before we get too much further in this, because it's done and I don't really need to talk about it anymore. I have made you the timeline.
Yes, you did. You sent me a timeline.
Did you see it?
I did.
Did it make any more sense now?
Oh, very little, sadly. I'm just amazed. Looking at the timeline, like, Batman comes across as so creepy with the switching out of Robins every year.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I mean, that's the only way you can fit it.
yeah, which is just not right.
Well, they're interns. Dumb idea.
Well, I mean, he is incorporated.
It's Bruce fucking Wayne. He should be getting, like... Never mind. I can't handle it.
It doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. But, yeah, JLI's done. We're giving it away. Who wants 6 issues of JLI? Huh?
New one.
Ah,
Here's an idea, kids.
yeah?
Those of you out listening, tweeting, we'll have to put this up on Twitter because by the time this podcast goes out, the contest will be over.
Yeah, yep, that's right.
But you want to win something? Tell us what you'd like. Let us know. I mean, not be like, hey, give me Batman #1, but like, I like Bat books or I like Superman. Just by firing that out to show us that we know that you've paid enough attention to request something specific.
No.
Well, no, I'm not saying we'll give away things that we're not already giving away, but if there's something in that matches.
No, because they'll be like, I love Strike Force Morituri. And then I would feel guilty about not giving them the 12 issues I got at Emerald City last year. I'm going to get the other 12 issues this year.
Ah, fair enough. I don't feel guilty about not giving anything away I don't want to give away. I'm not losing any sleep on this.
You want to run through Unwritten and call it even?
Sure.
All right. So this is 34. So there's 34.5, 35. I think there's 35.5 and 36, and that ends it.
The book?
The storyline. The storyline.
Okay.
As far as I know, the storyline. Which is a good place for it to stop, because that's 3 years even. And I have a thing for that when it comes to sets of comic books.
Right.
I don't know why, because everybody else is like, it's a 10-issue run, 10's a nice even number. And I'm like, yeah, but it leaves 2 left over in a given year, and it's just uneven, and it's fucking lame.
Well, that's assuming the book
That's my little neuroses there, okay?
That assumes the book starts in January. I mean, there's all sorts of
It
complications.
does, yes, it assumes that, which it never fucking does. But utterly beside the point. Like sets. If you're going to have a dozen, you have things, they're published by month.
Right.
There are 12 months in a year. So, by any numerical stretch, a set is 12 months.
Fair enough.
Whether it's from summer to summer.
I see your point and don't care.
Yeah, I know you don't. It's
So-
my neuroses. You got
My
whatever
neuroses is the only good neuroses.
Oh, I didn't say that. I don't know if it's good or not. I tend to doubt it. It seems pretty dumb. But it's mine nonetheless. So, Tommy opens up where he's just got a gun to his head and he's about to get fucked up. Right? Pullman is like, no, look, you should just fucking kill him and call it even, man. Let's go.
Pullman is an awesome villain.
Pullman's a great villain. I'm glad he doesn't like his bosses at all. He's been around longer than all the bosses. He seems to be the only one who understands the real goals of what's going on here and the mechanics of executing those goals.
And by the
rest
end of
of
the
them are
issue, and by the end of the issue, he's the only one left anyway.
pretty much.
They slaughter these people.
They do, and they start by sticking a bloody wand in the guy's eye, which is pretty good. It's like, oh, this is not just a magic weapon.
It's a stick.
It's a pointy stick. And they're all so shocked. It's like, oh, bloody hell. And he's got his magic back at that point.
Well, only because now the way they stopped his magic was absolutely really clever in that they had a bunch of people writing horrible stories.
Negative stories
Right.
about him.
So what do? They show up and start killing all those people.
What else are you going to do?
And you know what? I personally don't type when someone is shooting at me.
I'll stop.
Yeah.
I mean, that clickety-clackety keyboard has got to be irritating on the trigger finger.
Yeah,
I can't have a twitchy trigger finger around. It's
If
not
a
happening.
vampire
It's
and
bad idea.
a minor Dickens character show up with guns and start shooting at me, I'm not going to type crap about a made-up dude. I'm just not going to do it. It's a life lesson. My father told me that when I was 6. It's like, this is when you should stop doing that, is when this happens.
Your pop never told you any
No,
such
not.
thing.
So not true.
So then they resurrect this idiot to get some more information out of him. The eye guy with the glitter spark. And he dismisses him once he gets the idea. They find out that everyone has been getting their plot points, so to speak, from the weird Roman lying stone dial analog thing in the basement. Where if the right stone comes out, they do one thing, and if the wrong stone comes out, they do another thing, which is kind of like, stick your hand in, and if you tell a lie, it'll bite it off. No! Don't stick your hand in
Were you thinking
weird
Flash
holes.
Gordon at all?
Flash Gordon.
Remember the movie Flash Gordon where they had the...
The, 1981?
Yep.
No.
Where Timothy Dalton's Tree World, to become a man, you had to stick your arm in the trunk, and there was a lizard that might stab you or something.
I don't remember that.
And it was so painful that you had to volunteer to be stabbed so you wouldn't die in madness and horror. Like, you know what? Don't follow a society where you have to make rules based on sticking your hand into a giant thing. Like, that's just... Like, find the Mormons.
Find the Mormons.
Really, become an Illuminati. Anything that doesn't require you to stick your hand in the giant thing is the way to go.
So he falls down the hole, and there, once again, is Pullman, the last survivor of this whole little cabal. And I don't know what he's going to do. Is he going to kick his ass? Is he just going to try to recruit him?
I have no clue where they're going to go from this.
And that's great.
Yeah, no, it's such a good book.
But 2 more issues, and it goes to trade only with us. So, you got anything interesting you want to talk about?
No.
No, we're covered.
I think we've hit pretty much everything.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it anymore. I want to go home and go to bed. You've humiliated me enough tonight.
Fair enough.
Very good then. What?
You stepped on it.
Stepped on what?
Stepped on the bless you.
I'm going to step on you in a minute, my
I
wife.
don't think that's going to happen. Bless you, funkers! And out!
Good night, kids.
I just said up yours, baby.
The Mean Geek is recorded live at the Reverend Mad Duck's apartment whenever the hell we can get to it. You can find us on iTunes, Podcast Alley, Facebook, Comic Space, our own site, www.themeangeek.com. Subscribe to us through RSS, and most importantly, find us as a proud member on the Comics Podcast Network. Contact us directly through email at themeanergeek@gmail.com.